The program today is on estate planning for chronic illness and disability. And I want to stress that we're going to give a very practical program, and this is something that for practitioners can have a huge and beneficial impact, I believe, on your practice, and we'll explain why and how and hopefully give you the tools to do it with. Let's start with a couple preliminary thoughts. Chronic illness does increase with age. The aging population will face similar issues to those with chronic illness. That's important because all the tools or techniques or planning ideas that I give you in this 90 minutes that we have together will not only be applicable to the very significant number of clients that you have living with chronic illness and the challenge of chronic illness, but will also help you address the aging population generally. So these tools will be of value to all practitioners. And I guess the conclusion of that is that the number of clients that can benefit from what we'll be talking about is not only significant today, but it will be growing in time as the population continues to age. Just a couple of sort of random general thoughts about chronic illness, because I think one of the big problems that exists, and even we as professionals are subject to some of the same misconceptions, is that we as a culture in our country have a very specific perspective on health issues, and that perspective or that sort of culture, if that's an appropriate descriptive term, makes it difficult for many to deal with what we're going to talk about today, and that's why it often is not dealt with. So in our country, when somebody's sick, as an example, what do? We go to a drugstore, Walgreens, Walmart, we go to CVS, and we buy a Hallmark Get Well card. We don't have a card that's appropriate, at least I've never seen one, for somebody with a chronic illness. We tend to focus as a society in a very positive way on helping those with an acute health issue. We send them to a hospital, we make them better. But a chronic illness is something that we don't tend to focus on culturally. A Get Well card makes no sense for somebody that will only get worse and not get better. And that's exactly what a chronic illness is. It does not heal, it continues or progresses over time. So that's just one point. Another point to perspective. We all remember learning about Helen Keller in grade school. Prolific author, political activist, lecturer, first deafblind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree, a woman that was dramatically ahead of her time in every sense with all her accomplishments. Would we view her as disabled, or would we focus instead on her unique and amazing abilities rather than her disabilities? Another concept. Diversity is a goal of every firm, and I'm sure every practitioner listening to this call, diversity is something that your firm has addressed. Chronic illness is as much a part of the diversity equation as any other aspect. Final general thought by way of background. The international symbol of disability, and I'll show it again in a second, is really a gross mischaracterization. Very, very few of those that are living with chronic illness or disability use a wheelchair. Yet that international figure of a stick figure in a wheelchair is the symbol, and that symbol represents the misconceptions we as a society have about chronic illness. In the lower left corner of the next slide, you'll see that symbol. And I think that's a good cultural statement of why we so often misunderstand and don't really help those living with chronic illness the way we can. And the goal of this program is to build awareness amongst you as practitioners and give you tools so you can do a better job for more clients and hopefully even expand your practice and gain economically from this.